On this edition of the Riz Khan Show, I've travelled to Turkmenistan, the Central Asian nation with a population of 7 million and borders that include Iran and Afghanistan. At a time when the world is struggling to resolve conflicts from Europe to Africa to the Middle East, Turkmenistan is marking the 30th anniversary of its Principle of Neutrality, a status reaffirmed by the United Nations for 3 decades. It's a principle that's enabled the government in Ashgabat to maintain friendly relations with both East and West, and is a central pillar of Turkmenistan's foreign policy. With one of the world's largest reserves of gas, the country is developing pipelines to Afghanistan, Pakistan and India, as well as China, furthering its ambitions as a major player in global energy. And the country has been reaching out to the world in other ways, as part of the International Year of Peace and Trust, supporting peace initiatives and supplying medical and humanitarian aid to women and children in need across the region and beyond, including Palestinian families. At the center of those programs is the Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov Charitable Foundation focused on children. I sat down with the foundation's Vice President for Medical Activities, Oguljahan Atabayeva. Madam Atabayeva, thank you so much for making some time for me. It's good to see you here in Arkadag.
First of all, I would like to sincerely welcome you once again on behalf of the Charity Fund providing assistance to children in need of guardianship, named after Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov in Turkmenistan.
What was it that drove your attention to this particular topic, you personally? What was it that really made you want to pursue this?
Protection of motherhood, childhood and care for younger generation is in line with Turkmenistan's priorities. And these priorities are not only a central part of our national policy, but they're also pillars of our identity. In this regard, I would like to underline our firm position, which emphasizes that states' material and intellectual resources should be directed to support a younger generation's physical and spiritual development. We also understand that in present condition, achieving this goal must be supplemented by wide international collaboration, close cooperation with United Nations agencies as well as international institutions on bilateral and regional level. This would give us the opportunity to combine the efforts to exchange practices and experiences and set the preconditions for political and diplomatic support for child-related issues and mobilize the resources.
It's interesting, having known Central Asian culture now for about 25 years, traveling to this region, I see how important children and families are in terms of culture. Many people say a lot of that is lost in the West. It's something that's still very valuable here, isn't it?
The activities of our charitable organization are based on centuries-old philosophy of Turkmen people, on their rich spiritual culture, customs and traditions. At the same time, our priorities, guiding priorities and principles are human values, ideals of peace, kindness, justice, and humanism. In this regard, the activities of our charitable foundation is based on implementing the activities, projects, and programs to assist children, to provide everything what they need to protect their rights and interests and cover the needs. And this includes medical aspects, access to quality education, healthy nutrition, environmental well-being, and much more. And this is a comprehensive task.
I have to ask you, Madam Atabayeva, what was the thing that started this foundation? What was the incentive for going forward and creating this foundation?
It's our values.
But what was the trigger that someone must have said, it's time we did this?
This foundation has been established by our national leader, Arkada, on 29th of March 2021. And this year we celebrated our 4th year, and this international conference was also dedicated to that.
I was wondering about examples that you can give that you have witnessed as someone who is so active in the foundation, examples of the kind of work, the things you see, the things that encourage you that everything is going in the right direction with the foundation.
Hundreds of sick children have been operated throughout Turkmenistan with the help of the fund. UNICEF participates and takes some practically significant projects, creating favorable conditions for children in the field of education and healthcare. And also a joint project with the United Nations Development Program, provisions of medicines for prevention and treatment of non-communicable diseases, and protection of maternal and child health in Turkmenistan is currently underway.
In the time since the foundation was set up, obviously you're now, it sounds like you're filling a gap that was there. Are you seeing the difference in terms of the results?
I can only say that the whole work of the fund is developing consistently and actively. The fund provides assistance not only to children in Turkmenistan who needs assistance, but also on occasion we provide assistance to children from other countries, but on behalf of the Turkmenistan. And here I can say that overall our charitable organizations, international efforts are developing really actively. And the fund, for example, the fund provide the humanitarian aid consisted of medical and healthcare supplies. Some textiles and food products have been sent to the children of Turkey who suffered from tragic earthquake, to children of Ukraine, Palestine, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and also to children of Primorsky Krai region, the Russian Federation. So here I can say that our fund actively participates in Turkmenistan's international humanitarian activities as well.
That's what I was going to ask you about. The foundation has been looking to expand its international cooperation. You mentioned UNICEF, you mentioned UNDP. So I guess you're looking to get more partnerships globally, correct?
Oh yes, our geographical and the thematic relations is expanding. And recently the contacts have been established with the charitable and humanitarian organizations in Europe, Middle East, and Asia. And we also would like to express our intention to further strengthen the cooperation with Gulf countries as well.
Is this quite new for Turkmenistan to reach out like this to international organizations?
Well, I can say that I started my duty as a Vice President for Medical Activities in our charitable organization last year, precisely in December. So as soon as I started my duty, I started thinking about expanding our relations, not only because the fund does very huge amount of large-scale work in Turkmenistan, and also on behalf of the Turkmenistan, we do a lot of work, to humanitarian work, and as a Vice President for medical activities, I thought we need to go further with the relationship with other charitable and humanitarian organizations. And I think we share same values.
I think they would be receptive, of course, because the collaboration will help in the long run for the children themselves. Have you found most of these countries and most of these organizations that you've reached out to, they've been happy to collaborate, yeah?
Oh yes, we recently had a trip to Monaco, and I was really, really glad that the all charitable and humanitarian organizations, they are always very happy to cooperate, because cooperation gives us, as I said, the power of, what is the power? Power for helping to children because I think there should not be like, borders when it comes to the children's, the well-being of children. It doesn't matter if it's like healthcare or education or other aspects or nationality of children. Children are children, so that's why it's really, I actually met only understanding and support.
It's interesting. The West has largely dominated much of what is put out in the media in terms of humanitarian aid, and people often forget that so much is done outside the West as well. And for a country like Turkmenistan, many people don't know the name. When you say, I'm from Turkmenistan, how do they receive it?
Today, I am very glad that when I say I'm from Turkmenistan, or I'm representing Turkmenistan, or I'm representing the charity fund from Turkmenistan, everyone knows. Everyone, they say like, we would like to go and see the Turkmenistan, and they're just happy to cooperate, and that's true.
As I learned more about the country coming here for the first time, I discovered also, of course, its stance of neutrality for 30 years now. I'm sure that must help as well, because as a country you remain neutral.
Yes, this coming December we will celebrate 30s of neutrality of Turkmenistan, and we're a neutral country, and our ideals is peace and constructive dialogue. That's the way how we work, the way how we see it. And Turkmen people, we like to solve the problems, if there is a problem, only in a peaceful way, only with constructive dialogue, and we don't see any other ways, like for example some aggressive ways. We don't, it's in our blood and culture.
Especially is good when you live in a neighborhood that is so diverse as well. Coming to Arkadaş for the first time, the new city just 30 minutes outside the capital, Ashgabat, the foundation's based here. Tell me about the facilities. You mentioned a few things. Tell me about the facilities.
Oh yes, we are in the headquarters of our charitable organization, and we have not far from here, just we can walk. If you wish, we can go and see after. We have a rehabilitation center here, which on an everyday basis, children go for inpatient treatment. And they get their rehabilitation treatment and many more consultations with consultants, diagnostics, and so on. And also we have a nursery for 150 children, and we actively practice the early inclusive education. And I think it's, I every day go there and chat with children, and I see inclusive education is gives a positive, and I can see the results. It's really nice to see the children like experiencing something new. And but in the rehabilitation center, I can say that the field where I work in, it's a field where, in general, I think it's a contribution to the future. And when I go to the rehabilitation center and I see the children who goes on a daily basis through rehabilitation and some treatments and diagnostics, but they're still happy. The big smile, like they can hug the whole planet, gives just, I don't know, it's like so, gives energy and happiness to just keep going forward and work in this field.
I think for people who have families and realize the value that children bring, we realize two things. We teach children, but they also teach us.
Of course.
What do you think is the biggest lesson you've learned from these children?
Oh, the biggest lesson, I was just thinking about it yesterday. I had a trip to a place, it's a different place where the children with some disabilities, like with the musculoskeletal disabilities, and as here I would like to mention that hundreds of sick children have been operated throughout Turkmenistan with the great help of fund, including complex treatment for cardiovascular and musculoskeletal diseases, as well as diagnostics and some therapeutical procedures as well. And when I see those children still smiling and working hard in order to make some small achievements, like that is something, that is really something that you can think about. That
seeing how much you've managed to do, and as you described the success, seeing the positive impact it's had on these children, where do you see the foundation maybe 10 years from now? What would you like to see happen?
I don't plan, but of course I have my wishes. Yes, of course I would like to see in 10 years' time the foundation, the work capacity and volume of the work what we provide at the moment. I would like to expand it, because the more we help the children, the more we are happy, and that is our main duty, to help assistance to children who needs care, who is in need in care, and we provide assistance. And in 10 years' time, I would like to be able to help more children, maybe not only in Turkmenistan, but worldwide.
That's what I was wondering, how much you see the role of the foundation expanding globally.
Yes, globally, that is the correct word. So all children are children. So if they need help, we need to be able, we need to be ready to provide assistance. It doesn't matter where are they, in which conditions, and what kind of help they need. So we just want to be ready to help worldwide.
So through this interview, for example, if you're reaching out to the global community, what would you ask for them in order to support the work you do?
As I said, this forum showed us already we have international strong support and understanding. And of course, again, my message is just to be ready to be able to offer any kind of assistance to children. As I said, to provide everything necessary what they need. And this is a message to whole planet, the whole organization, the whole humanitarian organization, and to the world.
In terms, because obviously, you know, when you set up an organization like this, you need to bring in expertise. You can perhaps offer expertise from your experiences. And I wonder if you can discuss that a little bit, how much expertise perhaps you need to come in, and perhaps what expertise you can give to others now.
Yes, on this international conference, there are a lot of, as I said, like the level of representative was like very high, and we had every meeting I was just having conversation about the exchanging of the expertise and experiences, and sometimes we need to learn something, and sometimes we can offer some help. And that was like main the topic of the conversation with the representatives of other countries who came for our forum. So that was yes, I can say that it's very important to be able to offer help with the consultants, with expertise as well, because sometimes in some countries, even we sometimes feel shortages, for example, because if you children working with children, it's very interesting, and at the same time it's very challenging, and we need to have the people from educational field, from medical field, from different fields, and we are always interested as a fund to send our specialists somewhere to learn more, to like high up the level of the knowledge, education. So every time if I have any meeting with representatives of different countries, I always use this opportunity to ask if we can exchange expertise or expand the knowledge.
So as we kind of wrap up on this interview, I have to say it's been an honor for me to come for the first time to Turkmenistan and, had a chance to discover some of the history of the country, of the Turkmen people. It's quite remarkable. It's a story I hadn't really heard. I went to the National Museum and saw everything there, and it was quite an eye-opener to discover this.
I'm so happy to have you here, and I would like to wish you all the best and success in your work.
Thank you, Madam Atbayeva, and thank you also for taking the time. I wish you luck with the Foundation's work.
Thank you.
And that's it from Ashgabat. From me and the team, thank you for watching. We will see you soon.